to give you a little background about how this whole thing started, and John, I'm not even sure if you're aware of this, is that the first thing that happened is Ev Arnold came in my office one day, and you know, Ev Arnold was about as OC as a guy can get. He was fixing my blinds so they were perfect, you know, and he said, you know what you ought to do? You ought to have a golf tournament to raise some money for your office here. You know, maybe 10, 12 guys, and you know, charge them $50 a piece, and you'll get enough money to run your office for a while. So I thought, oh, yeah, well, it sounds like a good deal. I think I could maybe handle that. Well, not shortly after that, Jerry Phillips came into the office, and Jerry Phillips had been running the golf tournament for Scars for years, and I told him what Ev's idea was. Oh, no, he said, you know, if you're going to go 12 guys, we might as well go 150. And I just about fell over, you know, my God, you know, I can't organize. And listen, he says, this will work out. I'm telling you, it'll work out. All we got to do is get a sponsor. Oh, yeah, just get a sponsor. Yeah, we said, you know, I don't know, who do you think? And he said, well, you know, security would be pretty good. So I'm thinking, you know, I'm not really very good at talking to bankers. I'm a little bit shy or dumb, maybe. And so I thought, but I know a guy who could really help out on this end of it. And so I called up slow walking, smooth talking Johnny Sand at the middle school. And we called John and set up an appointment. And
20 years later.
20 years later.
Yeah.
Here we are.
Yeah. I remember distinctly Mergs and John coming in. It was an easy thing to say yes.
Yeah, that's what you say, but I'll tell you, we were surprised that it was so easy.
You know, companies work hard to find events that they can put together with their name on it, and they think that who isn't touched by our school system?
Yeah.
You know, and to be able to support the school system and to have the number of our fellow employees active in this event it's been a great experience. I mean, 20 years.
Yeah, that's unbelievable.
Yeah.
You know, and talking about your employees, you know, when we started, we had mostly myself and Sheila, and Sheila and I were never the greatest paperwork people in the world. And Jerry Phillips, although he had a handle on everything, wasn't very good either. And but we did have Mott, you know, and Mott was good. But we ran it for the first couple of years, and it was surprising. We expected to get 100 people at the max, and we had 200 people sign up the very first year. And I think some of the things, and I think this was your idea too, that we make it a co-ed. In the past, most of these golf tournaments had been just men.
Yeah, but I think if we step back a minute, I think one of the best things we ever did was we put together an independent board.
Yeah.
For the Scramble, a Scramble board that was represented by 3 from the bank, 3 from the school district, and 3 at large from the community. And I just, these boards, and it's evolved a little, not a lot as far as personnel go, but they've just been phenomenal.
Yeah.
I mean, and then the volunteers, we have a number of volunteers. God, they just do such a great job year in, year out. And then the sponsors.
Yeah. Remember when we started, we struggled to get 18 sponsors with 1 sign for each hole? Now you can hardly hit the ball down the fairway. There's so many signs.
Yeah. It's, and to think that our goal this year is 500,000.
Yeah, I know.
You know, that'll be our total. For 20 years, we'll have raised 500,000.
Yeah. And it's really gone to some good things. One thing that about that I thought was real important, and I think you were the one who insisted on it, that this money was not to be used to take the place of money that was donated was for the school for athletics. This is in addition to it, and for all activities. And I think they've held to that. Yeah,
no, we after the first year we went to the board and just said, you know, we expect this to be, this stays within activities.
Yeah.
And we would like to see you, now it hasn't happened all the time, but pretty much all the time, that it is money that is acquired for the following year.
Yeah.
For events, for they've used it for such a multitude of things, where there's wrestling matches, uniforms, they've had clinics, it's just equipment for the weight rooms. It's just been wonderful. We've been very fortunate. Jim, I got to tell you, I'm through. You know, how lucky was I that you and John would come in and visit with me and give us this opportunity. It's been wonderful.
Okay. Now, thank you.
You bet.
Yeah.
Our team, as a speech team, benefited from the Scramble in that we were donated 7 notebook computers so that our discussants and our extemporaneous speakers were able to store all their folders and all their files and all their research for their categories on those on just a jump drive, and then they could use it right in the computer instead of carrying boxes around the entire time.
They've all contributed to benefit to one of our sports teams, and the past few years I've been donating my time to have the boosters help out the cross-country team and the baseball teams. It's a lot of fun. You get to meet some pretty cool people, and sometimes if you do a good enough job, you get some pretty good tips. So it makes it enjoyable, and it helps out our sports, and it helps out the community as well.
Some of the exciting things that we really like about this event is obviously an athlete looking back when we played and the opportunities we had to do different things in sports, and the equipment that was available to us was far less than what we see now. And as a coach, the equipment we get that the Lumberjack Foundation is able to support us with through the Lumberjack Scramble is vital, and we get some really nice high-ticket items that go to support our sport.
Through the foundation and through the raising of these funds, Bemidji Volleyball has been able to purchase some large equipment, such as our volleyball standards and nets, along with other various equipment. I think we've purchased a couple machines as well for our players.
The Lumberjack Scramble has really been a great help for our tennis program, both the girls program and the boys program. When I came back to coaching, both teams were really in bad need of uniforms and warm-ups, some equipment, and without the help of the Scramble and the foundation, it just wouldn't have been possible to make that type of purchase.
Our soccer program has grown from practicing on a facility that, well, we used to practice at the old fairgrounds. There were no goals, there was no paint. We just practiced out on a place that was open space, and now the community has supported us to the point we have 9 soccer fields in our community, plus another field we dedicate strictly to gameplay. Our games have lights, or have scoreboards and concession stands and press box. And all of those little amenities are possible because of the support the foundation provides to just our program, but all of them.
And ever since they've had where you could get your own team put together, we've made it a family tradition. And we've never won first place. But we've had a lot of fun. My boys have been caddies while they were in middle school, and now they actually participate in the Scramble also, so we have a lot of fun.
It started with all-class reunion, and so my husband, who was a teacher, and I decided to play in it. And then we got our 3 children playing in it, and we kind of made it a family thing that we'd play. And my husband really enjoyed it because he would meet all these different kids that he'd had in school. And I enjoyed it just because I see so many people that I knew too. It was great fun.
We sponsor the Lumberjack Scramble because we feel it's important to help our kids.
Well, I think this is a real good community project. We like to do. We like, some businesses look at it as advertising, and some look at it as donations. But I believe this is a good both really for us.
When we were moving in, Mr. Mergen said, make sure you attend the Lumberjack Scramble. It's today. So I've been a part of it for a very long time. I certainly enjoyed it, and as the activities director, I really appreciate the help we get each and every year from the volunteers, from the coaches, from the players, from the athletes themselves who come out and caddy. Of course, Security Bank, in the amount of effort and time that they put into this thing, the reason that it has become the giant business fundraising event that it is because of the effort that they put into making sure that this is the best event of the year for the community. So thank you, Security Bank, thank you, Mr. Bear and the Bear family for all the work and effort that you put into this. Every single activity that we have here, especially the sports programs, 25 sports programs, have benefited from the Lumberjack Scramble over the 20 years.